Welcome to Allie's Attic, where you never know what kind of surprise you'll find in my attic. I'm your host, Allie, and today my surprise is a man of many, many trades, music being one of them and one of the best ones. Please welcome David Britt. Hi, David.
Hello, how are you doing?
I am awesome. How are you?
I'm doing great. So excited and very honored to be on your show, and so I can't thank you enough. I'm really pumped about this.
Oh,
It'll
well,
be great.
thanks. Thanks, David. I'm glad you're on my show. Okay, so basically, I'm going to get you to tell me your story. I know that you were born and raised in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yes, ma'am.
But you've done a number of different things. I love your music, and that's why I asked you to come on. But
Seriously.
I mean, talk about everything else that's going on in your life, when you started getting interested in music and when music happened and if anything else happened. Yeah, tell me your story because it's a very interesting story.
I'll have to say it is an interesting one. People usually kind of scratch their head and go, "Really?" It's pretty wild, but it's a fun one. I'll say that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I was born in Charlotte, North Carolina. October 1st, 1975, which actually my birthday's coming up, I guess, in a couple of weeks. But
Woo.
I'll be 42. So,
Oh gosh, I wish. Okay.
yeah. Time's flying by. But
Yes.
I was thinking just the other day, actually. I've always said I'm so green in the music, because I'm so new to this. But at the end of the day, I was like, David, you've actually been doing this for a while now. So I started writing really kind of that 2000, 9 range, somewhere in there. So I started writing stuff down. I had written a couple books, actually. I read a book on tennis, which is kind of part of my former life. I grew up as a national tennis player and played in college and played some professional tennis. And so I'd written a book about tennis for parents, and then wrote a book for my daughter, actually, when she was born in 2005, and had just finished writing a book for my son who was born in 2009. And so I love writing. I love putting things together. Those are actually children's books right there. And so I was, kind of all over the place from a standpoint of what am I doing in life. After I got through playing tennis in 1998 in college, I played for a little while, like I said, professionally. But I actually began teaching tennis as well, and so that's when I wrote that first book
Good
on
Lord.
tennis. And it's
You're busy.
crazy. It's wild. I mean, it's a wild deal how people are like, well, how did you get into music? I'm like, well, I actually started playing violin when I was 3.
Ooh.
So I started playing at a very, very young age, and music was a huge part of my life. Staying at home all the time with mom and dad. Mom played piano, my little brother played cello. So music was a huge deal. I played virtually every piece you could think of classically for violin. But then sports came into my life, basketball, soccer, tennis, where music left from a standpoint of me playing an instrument for a very long time because I was gone literally all the time playing tennis.
Mm-hmm.
And so it left. But I was always really, missing it so much. And, still sang all the time, church choir, all that kind of stuff. We grew up singing the Oak Ridge Boys here at the house, and Elvis, and Dolly Parton, and the Beatles, you name it. We were tearing it up. And just kept going with that whole thing my whole life. And then, as my tennis playing started to end and got into the working world and eventually the commercial real estate, I found myself in 2009 with a lot of time in my hands. And the reason why is because the market crashed. And so nobody really had any business doing commercial real estate. It was a tough time. So I started writing stuff down and actually ended up learning how to play the guitar. And one thing led to another. 2,000 songs later, here I am today. I've released 3 albums. My 4th's coming out next year. And I mean, it's wild, but my story is crazy. I mean, and the ways that I kind of came onto the scene, they don't really make a lot of sense. I just got lucky several ways. I got very lucky and blessed at the same time, and things happen for a reason. But
yes,
I wrote
always.
a song 2011, 12 range about the NASCAR driver, Jimmy Johnson, who lives here in Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote it, put it out there, and Jimmy found out about it. He retweeted the song on Twitter, and he's got 1 million fans. So every racing fan found out about me.
Wow.
that it's crazy. So that happened. I didn't ask him to do that. He just did it out of the goodness of his heart.
Mm-hmm.
And then, lo and behold, the Oak Ridge Boys and I got hooked up. I wrote a song called "She Likes the Oak Ridge Boys" and became connected to them with that. And today, obviously they're in the Country Music Hall of Fame. They're like my closest friends, and I can't tell you how close I am with them. It's amazing. I mean, they listen to my songs I do before I release them. Joe Bonsall and Dwayne Allen have been literally true brothers to me, and Richard and William Golden, and their families, all of them are just wonderful, wonderful people. And so I got these amazing relationships I got connected with. And so like you say, things happen for a reason. Why they happened for the reason, I have no idea, but they did. I got very lucky with that. But I've been very fortunate to meet a lot of good people who've helped me, and they've introduced me to people. The former Oak Ridge Boys drummer is who plays on my latest album. I mean, it's crazy.
Wow.
So, but it's been a blast, and I've got two beautiful kids who love it, and they're very musical as well, and so I just I'm kind of taking it day by day. I've still got the commercial real estate company, which is doing very well. It rebounded very nicely in 2010, so thank God for that.
Yeah.
But I'll always do that because it's a passion of mine as well. But music is something that I love to do more than anything other than when I'm with my children. Music is something that I absolutely love it. And like I said, I've written over 2,000 songs. Just in basically around 8 years. So I think that for me and for everybody, your story is different when it comes to music. There's some pretty amazing stories out there. I'll tell you that. But I do have a very interesting one, and I try to do as much as I can with my music to help people. I do a lot of charitable concerts throughout the year. So I've tried to use it to do a lot of good, and and try to write things to help people out. And because music helps people.
Oh, it does. It does.
Know?
I completely agree. There's always a song that relates to exactly what you're going through at that moment. And I'm so intrigued by songwriting. I've had songwriters on, well, you're a songwriter too, but I've had people that are just songwriters, and I just what is the process? And everybody's process is different, but the songs, like I say, there's a song for every situation that you go through. And if the world played more music and less TV and yapping, I think it would be a very, very happy world. Now, that's just my opinion. Now, I love the Oak Ridge Boys. So as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh my God, how lucky is that? And you just said, things happen for a reason. You blow me away. It's David, you are just everywhere. And plus having two children and being married, and you hold it all together wonderfully, and your music and your songs. Oh my goodness, David. And then you do something at the end of the year. You were talking about charitable causes. You do something at the end of the year. You put on a big show, correct?
I do. It's called Singing for a Reason, and you can actually go to. I'll give it a really cool plug here. You can go to www.singingforareason.com. That's SINGINFORAREASON. Or you can go to Singing for a Reason. Either one you can go to. But basically, it's a concert that I was inspired to start putting on due to one of my good friends' sons who has an inoperable brain tumor. He's my son's age. He's like that 8-year-old range, and he was diagnosed a couple years ago. And I grew up with his mother. His father is actually a musician, a very, very accomplished musician named Dave Desmelick, he's released numerous albums over the years. But Holmes is their son, and if you go on Facebook, you can find something called Holmes Team, HOLMES Team, and this team that was formed on Facebook of people all over the world that support this little boy and what all they're going through. But Claire, his mother, and I grew up going to school together, and when he was diagnosed, I, along with several, people we all went to school with, tried to start doing events for them and things, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to try to do something for cancer research in honor of him. And so I started doing that. I did the first one last year, raised a whole bunch of money, and I'm doing it again this year. I'll I'll do it forever. But anyway, it's called Singing for a Reason, and my band plays. I've got incredible people who are in my band, and we'll play. And the money goes to Levine Children's Hospital here in Charlotte, which is the number one number one pediatric hospital in the United States of America. So
Wow.
it goes to cancer research there, to the Carolina Kids Cancer Research Fund. And I've been very, very fortunate. I've got an amazing title sponsor, Hendrick, which a lot of people know Hendrick Auto Sports, which is an owner of lots of NASCAR teams. So Hendrick has tons of car dealerships, and Hendrick Acura and Land Rover and Jaguar are the title sponsor this year. And then I've got Coca-Cola Bottling Company Consolidated as a presenting sponsor, Bojangles, which is a big restaurant, has lots of chicken and biscuits here, and then KPT Law, which is a big law firm. So
wow.
These guys behind me, the money, goes into the hospital, and then we go out and play, and then the ticket sales go to the hospital. So it's a really special deal. But that's November 11th at Sugar Creek Brewing Company in Charlotte, and that's kind of my big blowout concert of the year. I'll do 3 or 4 or 5 other things between now and the end of the year, but that's like my big show I put on. And so I'm really excited about that. But that's November 11th, and actually next week, now that we're on the phone here, next week I'm playing the Speak Up, Speak Out Anti-Bully Rally,
Ooh.
which is a event for schools, public schools, to help teach kids about not bullying other children, which is a huge issue, obviously.
Oh, yes.
Massive issue.
Yes.
All over the world, not just here.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll be performing that night with my buddy, a guy named Charlie Trexler. We're playing that night, and that's next Thursday. And I've got one special show that I've got coming up. I can't tell anybody about yet because it's not public. I just found out about it, but I'll be doing something. I'll be doing something in a few weeks in New York that I am so excited about, but I can't say anything about it. But I just found out about it last night, so of course I can't say anything yet.
Well, when you can say something,
yeah.
when you can say something, like, let me know so I can tweet it all over the world.
I will definitely do that. I think you're going to be floored when you hear what I'm doing. But,
I'm going to
I've let my family know, but hopefully here in the next. Well, I guess I'll be in New York just in a few weeks, so it'll be coming around the corner really soon. But so I'll as soon as I'm able to announce something, I will. But I'm very honored and excited about what I'll be doing. But so I'll do that, and then at the very end of the year in December, at the same hospital, Levine Children's Hospital, I do like this I call it the Christmas show. It's actually they call it the Winter Show. I guess it's kind of like a non-denominational show I do at the hospital for all the kids.
Mm-hmm.
So I sing kind of Santa Claus Coming to Town type songs like that, and so I'll do that there. Ryan Seacrest, from American Idol,
mm-hmm.
Back in the day, Ryan donated tons of money to hospitals across
mm-hmm.
the country to put Seacrest studios in the hospitals. It's an actual studio, obviously you doing radio, the
mm-hmm.
studio, super cool. And artists from all over the world come in when they're in town. They come and they go to Seacrest Studios. You can perform right there in the studio, and all the children in the rooms see the whole thing because they're not well enough to come down a lot of times, so they can watch you closed circuit in their rooms. So I'll do that at the end of the year. So I try my best, like I said, to do as many good things with my music as possible because I'm not on tour full time. I probably do 30 shows a year,
mm-hmm.
where like the Oakland Boys, they play almost 200 probably.
Yeah.
So I'm here. I've got I could be out there doing that full time, and God knows I would love to do that. But with the real estate company, like I said, that's my other passion, and I've got to hit the hay while the hay's hitting good. So
exactly.
It's a good market, so I'm working my rear end off, and then I've obviously got my children that I spend as much time as I possibly can with, with their sports and
mm-hmm.
school and everything else. So I'm here more than I'm gone, obviously, and I try to pick shows that they can either come to or that are in between their games or whatever. So that's kind of my, everybody's different. That's my unique thing about David. I am, I'm not touring full time, but I am writing full time. I'm releasing music literally almost daily.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I love it. And, I've gotten to know, I've gotten to know some, like I said, the Oakers Boys, you can't really meet anybody any more famous than that. So it's like, I kind of hit a home run on the first swing. But,
and with Jimmy
I've gotten
Johnson.
To know some amazing people.
Good Lord,
Jimmy Wayne, Do You Believe Me Now, which is number one song, in the country for many weeks, a few years back. Jimmy and I have become good friends. Jason Michael Carroll, where I'm from. I've met some amazing people through music. Music is a very powerful thing. I've met not just in country.
Mm-hmm.
I've met people in all different genres of music, and one thing you find with music, which is like you said, it's truly a uniting type thing.
Mm-hmm.
You watch TV all day long. Literally, you want to just like bury your head in like as much sand as possible.
Yes.
But it appears that everything is completely divided, and there's no unity, no harmony in the world, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But you could take 1,000 people, or 10,000 people, or 100,000 people. You can put them in, Wembley Stadium, or you can put them, wherever. They can put them somewhere, and you play a song, and everybody in that whole place will be singing Elvira, or everybody in that whole place is going to be singing, Uptown Girl by Billy Joel. I mean, like, what I'm saying is that,
exactly, yeah.
You go to a Dave Matthews concert. I've seen Dave play over 100 times.
Mm-hmm.
You go there, I mean, you have people who are Democrats, Republicans, Socialists, Conservatives. It doesn't really matter what you are, every religion, non-religion, whatever, and people get in there and have a great time. They sing together, they dance together, and it's like, so the possibility, the possibility does exist to have peace in the world.
Oh, yeah, it definitely does.
It's not an easy thing. You think it would be, but unfortunately it's not.
No,
but
it's
it
not.
is there, and you can see it, and you can see it a lot through music because you can see the power
of what music
hear
does.
Hear a tune and all come together. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's like I said, if they played more music and less TV and games and phones, and yeah, it would be a much happier place.
Yeah.
Now, your music makes me happy. I love your songs. I really love your songs. I love how you're so humble. And I mean, you've done so many things. And I mean, look at the people you know, for God's sakes. Like, please say hello to the Oak Ridge Boys and say hello to Jimmy Johnson. Like, oh my God, I love NASCAR. But anyways, and I mean, the Oak Ridge Boys are iconic. I mean, I guess the younger generation might not have heard of them, but our generation, definitely, everybody knows who they are. And yeah, you know what? And like you said, everything does happen for a reason. And I am so glad all those things happened to you, so that we get to enjoy your music, because like I said, it's very, very good. I love the way you write songs. So because you've done so many different things, David, like literally so many different things. If you had any advice to give any new artist that was coming out, what kind of advice would you give them?
I would say this, I don't claim to be an expert by any stretch, but that's it. I've been doing this less than 10 years, but I will say this: I've learned a lot, and I listened back to kind of when I first started and where I started doing music, how my songs evolved. Although I would say some of my best songs were some of the first handful I've written, but I would say this: be yourself. And not to be, corny and cliche, that whole, be true to yourself thing, which everybody seems to say, but, at the same time, be true to yourself. Write what's on your heart. I mean, it doesn't mean you can't write a funny song here and there, because Lord knows I've written plenty of them. And you can write the bubblegum songs, but, the hanging your t-shirt on the limb, playing the Georgia Clay, riding in the truck till the break of day. I mean, you can do all those songs, which is fine. Everybody has those songs. They're fun. But at the end of the day, write what's on your heart. Write about personal experiences. Write about something in your life, something about in your friend's life, something that happened to somebody. And, try to find your real voice. Learn to play an instrument. You gotta learn to play guitar.
Yeah.
If you're gonna write music, you gotta play the guitar or piano. You gotta do something like I can play any violin piece there is, but you don't generally write music with violin as a basis. So
yeah,
you gotta learn an instrument. And I there are some amazing singers out there that always have to have somebody playing the guitar with them because they don't know how to play the guitar. And there's nothing wrong with not being able to play the guitar, but I would definitely do it. And the reason why, guitar, something, banjo, anything you can write a song to, because, when you really get the itch and you start wanting to write, it's one thing having a pencil and a paper or putting it on your phone or whatever it is, but and you can hear the tune and sing it, but being able to grab an instrument and put it actually into an actual form of a song is a big deal. You know, it's a big deal. And many artists, you know, have an instrument they can play. It doesn't mean you have to be, you know, Jimi Hendrix or
Eddie Van Halen, or
I mean, you don't have to be like, cause I'm not the world's best guitar player by any stretch, you know, but I can write the heck out of a song, and you don't need to know 400 chords to write a song.
Exactly.
You know, if you've got D and G and A and C, I mean, like my producer Jason's good, he laughs all the time because like I'll come to the studio and I've written a song and I'll bring in session players to play the instruments and stuff, you know, and the guitar. I mean, like I said, I play fine, but I'd much rather have somebody who has been doing it since they were 10 years old. And so they're like, David, is it a hard song? I'm like, it's a David song. Give me a break. You can, if you know D and G and C and A, you're gonna be all right. But if you think about it, like, you know, Elvira. I mean, I play Elvira cover all the time. I mean, Elvira is, well, the way I play it, I play it in key of G. So G, and you know, you got D and C. But at the end of the day, that's it. You know, every rose has a thorn. That in, but a couple chords too. So I mean, like, you know, just learn to do that because it's going to come in handy. And you know, this is speaking from somebody who, like I said, I didn't know how to play the guitar.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't. In 2010, my wife at the time, she said, "I'm going to get you a couple, you know, guitar lessons." So I went in there, and the guy I was with, and Gray Brewster, great guy. He was actually the lead guitarist for Athenaeum, which was a big pop group back in the 90s. And I said, I don't want to learn how to play guitar. I've got all these songs in my head, and I can sing them to you right now in the exact key, the bridge, everything. I just want you to play the guitar to what I'm singing. And we did that for a number of songs. And then Ray was starting a new band, and he's like, David, he's like, I just don't have as much time. So he's like, man, you need to learn how to play the guitar. He taught me like 2 chords. I went home, I started working on it, and like I said, I've written over 2,000 songs since then. And I've just, you know, worked my butt off. But I would say the best music I've written has been music where I've been honest with my feelings. I've used my real voice. I've found my voice. I've listened to the advice of Joe Bonsall and Dwayne Allen from the Oak Ridge Boys. I mean, I have listened to everything they've ever said to me. I've hung on those words. I mean, I get choked up when I talk about it. But I mean, those guys have helped me so much.
So much, yeah.
And they're honest with me. You know, they'll say, you know what, David, I think you need to do this. Or, hey, you know what? Be more positive in the song. Don't focus on the negative. You know, you find a happy ending. Do something. They give such great advice. And so, you know, I've taken that advice because, man, this guy's, like I said, man, you can go to an Oak Ridge Boys concert today, and you will find people there singing Elvira who are I'm 42, who are much younger than I am. I mean, like, you know, that these guys they're true icons. I mean, heck, Blake Shelton brought him out over his new song, Do It, the country songs. They're the feature on that song, and it is unreal.
That's my crush, by the way.
Song all over the place now. I cover it all the time. It's an amazing song. And so, you know, the respect they get from Tim McGraw, I mean, like, you name it, I can go down for a million miles, all the people that love those guys. I've learned from them, honestly. I would say, you know, try to find artists. If you're somebody coming up, learn an instrument, you know, write your true feelings, learn the craft of a song, learn how to deliver that song. But find an artist. It doesn't mean you have to get to know them like I've gotten to the Oak Ridge Boys, because that was just truly luck. But find an artist you want to emulate, somebody that you respect, somebody you know that will be somebody, you listen to their words and what they're doing in a song, you can trust it, and you know it's the right thing. Try to find somebody you can really respect and go, I'm going to try to emulate these guys, because when I sit down and say, I'm going to try to write a song that the Oak Ridge Boys would be proud of, that they would say, you know what, we'll listen to the song, we'd sing the song. You know what I mean? Something that they can really latch on to. I know if they say, David, we like this song, I know it's a darn good song, because those guys are honest and they're the best at what they do.
Okay. That is great advice, David. That is very good advice. Now, what 2 songs are we going to hear from you today?
Well, the first song we'll talk about, because I always say the second one, I always say that one for last. But the first one is called Make Your Shadow Sweat. And this is what you would call a very unique song, because I will tell you right now, There's not another song out there called Make Your Shadow Sweat, and nobody's ever sung about anybody shadow sweating.
That is true. That is true.
It's a fun song, and I'll tell you a quick story about it, which is a great lead-in. I was talking to a good friend of mine, and somebody I never dated, but just a really close friend of mine, but I love her to death. And she was in Dallas, Texas, and she was talking to me, and I was in Charlotte, and it was high as a firecracker. It was the summertime, and I could see my shadow on the side of the building.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't seen her in years and years and years. She said, "Mom, I'm going to come visit you." And so I said, "Well, you need to go in here." She was, "What can you entice me? How can you get me to come there?" And I looked at my shadow, and I said, "If you come here, I'm going to love you so hard your shadow's going to sweat." And she started cracking up. And that's how I came up with the name of that song, Make Your Shadow Sweat. And it turned into what it is.
You used it as a line to flirt, and now it's a song.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I've been known to be slightly a flirt from time to time.
Slightly? If you come here, I'll love you so hard, I'll make your shadow. Yeah, okay. You would have had me. Anyways. My God. I have never
So that's how that song happened. And I went home, I wrote the song, got into the studio, and I knew immediately. I said, this song is going to be a good one. I knew it immediately.
And it is. Okay, now the other song. Now that we've heard
the other
song
is a really special song. It's about my children, and it's called "Cause He Made You." He meaning God, and it's a song about my kids, and it's a song about my faith. And I wrote that song a few years back, and I remember sending it to Joe from the Oaks, and he said, "David, this is very special." And you know, the things that mean more to me than anything in the world are my kids. And so when I write about them, I just let it all out. And I wrote this song when I was at a point where I don't think they were at school, or I think at the time they were. My son was in preschool. My daughter was in elementary school still, and she's in middle school now. He's in elementary school now too. But I was just kind of looking around at the world and what we have here. Looking up at the sky and the sun and the little animals running around and the mountains and the trees, all these beautiful things that we have here that we get to enjoy, that we take for granted so much. And the song is because He made you. I know He made all these things. I know He made you. And it's just it's a very endearing song I write about my children, and I sing it every concert I play, and I've sung it many times live on radio shows, and I've gotten choked up singing it. And I'll be singing it next week, but I always sing it because it's a song for my children.
Special song, yeah, very much so. Okay, so you can buy, just so everybody knows, David's music pretty much anywhere you purchase your music online, and you can also visit his website, which is davidbrittmusic.com. That will be up on my website, and as everybody knows, you'll be able to click on his link and go right to his website, learn more about him, listen to other great songs of his, because he has a lot of them. You are amazingly talented at everything, and I think you're a wonderful dad. Just listening to you talk about your children throughout this interview, because I'm a mom and a single mom. I'm a single mom, so it's really nice to hear you talk about your kids like that. So David, thank you for taking time out of your busy life to come on my show. I'm so honored, and I wish you the best success in the world. And, if you get up on that stage and you start, accepting awards, I want a shout out. No, I'm joking.
I'll give you one, man. I tell you, all the people, I'll tell you.
I'm joking.
It's incredible. I'm a big believer in this, man. I give credit where credit's due, but there have been some great people along the way, from, DJs who, normally would never have you on the show, to, radio show hosts like you. I've literally met some people who've helped me, and you don't forget those people. Before we leave here, I got to tell you a really special story that happened a couple of years ago, that another iconic person in the world that I met that took a chance on me for her story, and it opened up a lot of doors for me. Gretchen Carlson, who
redneck woman,
very well known, in media, 2 years ago, here in Charlotte, we had a situation at our mall, which many of the malls across the country owned by a certain real estate company took down the Christmas tree before Santa Claus came,
Ooh.
and they replaced it with a glacier. And children were very upset. We were like, what is going on here? And so I got with the kids, and we wrote a song called Have a Holly Jolly Glacier. And that song went viral, and Gretchen found out about it. She featured me, like, prime time right there in the middle of her show as her feature story. And do you know that that company replaced a tree all across the country? In New York, in Charlotte, several other places they went. They basically, it started a huge uproar. And so, it was really interesting because, she took that chance on me. I was, I'm pretty much a no-name singer, and we've become very close friends, and she is just a super, super person, but yet another person that helped me along the way. She's got a big book coming out called Be Fierce that comes out October 17th. And she's a miraculous lady.
Yes, I love her.
Become a very good friend, and like, that's another one of those things. Like, how in the world did this little guy right here just start playing music all of a sudden on a major network with somebody as iconic as Gretchen Carlson? So, it's incredible the things that have happened to me. And so whether it's, that, or whether it's you putting me on your show, or maybe the Oak Ridge Boys, or Jimmy Johnson, or whoever it may be, anybody that's helped me, God knows, I say thank you to them, God bless them, and I will always be here for them too.
Okay, say her name again.
Gretchen Carlson.
So it's not Gretchen Wilson, who does Redneck Woman.
Gretchen Carlson.
Okay.
Gretchen.
Okay.
H-E-N. Gretchen Carlson.
Okay.
Gretchen Carlson. If you go on Twitter, she's Gretchen Carlson.
Okay.
If you Google her, she'll come up all over the place.
Okay.
She's been in news media for many
Okay.
years. But,
I just wanted to make sure I didn't, because I said Redneck Woman,
network, but she is, she's a great person, but she helped me out big time, and so,
awesome.
I've become very good friends.
Awesome. Okay, well, say hi to all of them. Tell them to come on my show. No, I'm joking. Thank you, David. And like I said, I wish you the best success, and thank you for coming on my show.
Thank you so much, Al. You take care, okay?
You too. And thank you for joining me on Allie's Attic. Keep checking my website because you never know what kind of surprises you'll find in my attic. Cheers.